All right. Video two. Okay. You watch the first one, you got a little hype, you know what's going on. Now we're in video two. What do we need to discuss inside of video two? What we need to discuss is how you're going to track and what you're going to track. Not so much how, more so much what. And by the way, I'm not editing these videos. Get the real raw and and me. Okay. So if I screw up, we'll just go back and we'll do it again. Okay. I'm going to share my iPad. Okay. On the iPad, we're going to map out a couple things. Specifically, what we're going to talk about inside of the video is what metrics are important to you as an agency owner or manager. Okay, there's many metrics out there. There's many things you could track. But for this specific type of process, we're talking about what? We're talking about the sales team. Okay, we're talking about the sales team only. If you want to track metrics and do some things for service teams, you absolutely can. But nonetheless, that's not what this video is going to be about. Inside of the sales team metric-based system, you got to figure out what metrics are that lead to success for your sales team, right? That's it. That's the whole game. So for the most common ones, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about talk time. That's the time connected on a phone call because a phone is our source of revenue inside of this game. We're going to talk about outbound phone calls. This is going to be the least important of all these metrics that we're going to base around in the framework of this. We're going to talk about quoted households. Okay. You could track anything you want. Again, by the time you get to the end of this, you're going to realize you can make this shit whatever you want for yourself. But ultimately, I'm just going to kind of tell you why I think the way I do. And then finally, items sold. Okay. When we talk about these metrics, we're talking about specifically, I'm taking a drink. Like I said, we're not editing this shit. You must hit, required. Okay. This is a whole conversation. 2 out of the 4. And why do we do 2 out of the 4? Because ultimately, if we come in and we have an amazing phone call at 9 o'clock and we sell 3 items, and let's say you're inside of this pyramid game that exists out there sometimes. Here's a pyramid game. We got 2 items. We got 100 phone calls. We have 10 quotes. Okay. Someone comes in, and this exists. Like, as crazy as it seems, this exists. Someone comes into your agency and they sell at 9:05 a.m. on a phone call. They sell 3 items. If you're using the pyramid system, they just achieve the top of the pyramid. They can fuck off the rest of the day, according to this. And you're like, no, they can't. Well, they can, because that's what you're clearly messaging to them based upon what you have inside your processes in your agency. Okay. If that's what works for you, amazing. If someone gives you 42 items or 44 items a month, yeah, I agree. That's amazing. Incredible. But consistency is the key to activity, right? So if we're looking at this and we say talk time, outbound phone calls, quoted households, and let's say this number is 180 minutes, 100 phone calls, 5 quoted households, 2 items sold. If they come in and they sell, like I said, 3 items at 9:05, they still have to chase one of the other metrics. Why? Because the next day is also important, and the next day is also important, and a week from now is also important. If they don't do the foundational work today, then next week can fuck off. And you only have yourself to blame, or your manager, or whoever this accountability person is. So this video is about determining what metrics are important to you. These numbers are relative to your culture. Okay? Not mine. My culture and my agency is my culture. Your culture and your agency is your culture. If you look at this and go, I want to micromanage, just stop now, because I promise you, this whole process is not for you. Micromanaging is a way to justify not actually wanting to hold someone accountable. Simple as that. Okay. You don't have to micromanage somebody who's doing their job. That's it. If they're doing their job, micromanaging does not exist. If they're not doing the job, management exists. If you want to put micro in front of it because it makes you feel a little weird, whatever, I don't care. But you have to babysit this process on a daily basis every single day. Okay, so metrics. What metrics are important to you? You is the big word here. Take some time. If you want to wait to go to the next video, take some time and figure out what's important to you. The key to this, in my opinion, is when you think about these metrics, excuse me, 2 of them are completely controllable. Talk time and outbound phone calls. Those are controllable via work ethic from the staff. There are going to be days where no one picks up and no one wants to get a quote and no one wants to buy insurance. Screw you if you don't give your staff a win opportunity every single day. That's on you. If you say to them, hey, if you hit 180 phone calls and you hit 180 talk time minutes and 100 phone calls, I am proud of you and you had a successful day because you're setting up yourself for success in the future. Amazing. If that number is 260 and 175, cool. If that number is 120 and 60, cool. Whatever your agency culture is what matters here. So take some time, think about this. And more importantly, look at your current staff and what they're delivering to you. If you go to your Ring Central, or you go to your Ricochet, or you go to your Lightspeed, or you go to your Avaya, or you go wherever, and you pull up Stacy, we're gonna say Stacy is our salesperson. And Stacy's day yesterday consisted of 27 outbound calls, and she was on the phone for 42 minutes, and she had 2 quoted households and no items sold. And you look at Stacy and say, hey, our new metrics are 100, 180, 5, or 2, and you must hit 2 of the 4, you just lost Stacy. Deservedly so. You don't get to just lay new rules over it when you haven't done the groundwork to prepare them for that. Okay, so I want you to also keep that in mind as you go through these videos. Whatever you end up deciding and building inside of this process, you don't get to just give it to them and go, good luck. You have to slowly integrate the process with authenticity, reality, truth, and acceptable responsibility on yourself to say, hey, I might have screwed up. I might have done a good job of holding you accountable in the past, which has led to you not making as much money as I know that you could make. So this is the shift we're making as we move forward. That's the idea of this whole thing. So what are you doing? You are determining what metrics are important to you. Once you have those metrics, again, I don't care what they are, but if you want to use the base 4, then those are the base 4 that I gave you as an example. So if you are using those base 4, figure out what metrics work for you. Look at your current stats first. Maybe your goal is to get to 100 phone calls in 3 hours of talk time, but because of your lack of consistency in holding people accountable, your current staff can't do that. Fine. Get 25% better at first. Just tell them where you're going. Show them the vision and explain to them why the vision exists. And then we'll move past that and move forward. So that's video 2. You're going to go off this thing. You're going to determine your metrics and you're going to find me on video 3. Yeah. Peace out.